All right, I want to talk about some things to note with this lift that I posted today from Matt. It's a PR of quite a bit. He's progressed a ton over the last couple months, so I'm super impressed and happy for him with that. I think it could be helpful for you guys to understand some of the things that we're looking for as coaches, and some of the things that are good here, and some of the things that are bad here that can provide some insight into a real world situation of what a snatch is going to look like. So first of all, we realized Matt doesn't know how to tie his shoes. That's okay. I think he'll survive. But second, here we go. And I'm gonna start off with some negative stuff, but that's not to line the entirety of the lift, which, like I said, I'm thrilled about. So, but some things to notice are Matt's back angle from when he starts. This is why we started to do in performance and sport some of these snatch liftoffs, is that when people start their lifts, see his butt come up here in this new angle that his back creates, that's pulling him forward, which he's going to have to fight here. And he actually never really totally corrects, which, being at that weight, I'm not super surprised about it. But that thing pulls him forward, and his weight comes forward, and he never is able to correct from that. So that puts him in this position here, where it's good that he did this weight shift that we've been talking about a lot, where he moves his weight towards his heels and really loads his hamstrings. But as you can see here, this is not a very athletic position. I would like to see his shoulders pulled back, and his torso more upright in a position where, as you watch the rest of this lift, he's going to kick this thing forward, and he's going to have to chase it. Some super positive things is where he finishes here. So this is watch this here. So we've been doing high hang snatches, which are in what feel like a very funny position where you slide your knees forward and your torso is upright. Which, as you see here, so as I said before, Matt's a little bit forward, but we're in this upright torso position with the knees forward position. So that's where that high hang position comes from, where it doesn't seem like it's really all that relevant to the movement, but it certainly is. You end up getting to this position, whether you know it or not, your knees go back, and then your knees slide forward incidentally. So that's where the high hang position comes from. He, again, has not corrected the being forwardness, which is fine. But look at this. The contact of this bar and where he lifts it with his hips. So that's great. The fact that he gets that bar all the way back up into his hips and he gets to this full extension here, that is awesome. A lot of people I've talked to today, or when we've been doing cleans and snatches, they're getting to maybe like here as far as where their torso is, and their knees are there. So they're really not finishing the lift, and they're not getting all the power that they need. So what Matt is able to do here, and why I love squat snatches so much, and why they're such an expression of athleticism and power, is Matt is able to get power enough to get this bar floating up in the air, but then he's fast enough and mobile enough to dive underneath it. So that's awesome. And you'll see, and watch how fast, I'll play this in real time real quick. That's pretty darn fast. So from here to there, there's a timer thing on here, but I don't think that I have it. But anyways, it's fast. So that's awesome. And then he catches it all the way underneath. But again, you see where he gets pulled forward from the beginning, and watch where his feet land. So his feet are behind this line. Feet jump forward, appears under the bar, and I'll talk about the squat in a second, but ends up having to come forward partially due to some leg strength in the overhead squat position, but a lot of because he's just forward, period. So what I want to come back to, though, is look at this depth of this overhead squat. If you're shorting your depth or you're not working on your overhead squats, you'll never be able to snatch quite like this, which is maybe not everybody's not everybody's seeking that, but if you are, you're going to have to learn how to squat deep. That's pinned underneath there. And to be able to stand up, again, some leg strength maybe in the overhead squat, which is not, the end of the world, especially because he was forward first, but that's where his hips come up and he starts moving forward to finish the lift. Awesome. Good job, Matt.